That was a really awkward sounding.
You waited until we were live to do it too. That was perfect timing.
It was unintentional, but
Well
you're
done.
welcome. You're welcome.
There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's script to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week for a cabbage flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week Piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the king.
Welcome to This Little Piggy, a weekly roundtable discussion about the Steel Toe Morning Show and its cum-eating host, Aaron Imholt. I'm Karl from Hurley's Podcast. This week, my guests are currently hosting Nobody Likes Onions. Patrick Melton is here. What's up, Patrick?
Hi.
Also,
Excited to be here.
from Once Over with Kaylee on YouTube, you know her, you love her, Lucy Tightbox is joining us.
Well, hello.
What's up, Lucy? You're no longer centered, but actually that works better.
Yeah, I thought that might help.
Okay, yes, you
Yeah.
positioned yourself well.
I understand my position here.
I appreciate that. There's multiple positions for you.
Thank you.
Also, from the Blind Mike Project, Why Are You Laughing? And Who Are These Socials? My buddy, Blind Mike Aguirre is here. What's up, Mike?
Is it cool to talk, or is Gino about to interrupt me?
I wanted to get you back on to give you a chance to actually say something on the show.
I appreciate it. It's
Yeah, I
nice.
thought-
I've said more words already.
That was a rough one the last time you were on. And who else did we have on that one that didn't get a
Adam
word
Bush
out?
and
That's right,
who-
Adam was on there. So when I got Adam to come on Point Dabble Point earlier.
You got
in the week-
Adam to come?
Yeah. Oh shit! Did I say that out loud?
Just do it.
When I got him to come on Point Dabble Point, that was my my selling point. I will not have Gino Bisconte on the show. You can come on and actually share some thoughts with us if you would like. Well, guys, it has been a crazy week that really was started off by this very show, This Little Piggy, last Friday.
Yeah, should I send the link to Nick Rekieta?
I don't think so. I think we'll take this week off.
Do you
Maybe.
think he'd ever come back on this program?
Well, I thought he was pissed at you for.
He might be.
I don't know, but then he was on your show yesterday chatting away and donating
look,
money. So
He donates money to Aaron Imholt. Does he like Aaron Imholt? He
Well,
wishes
that's a
Aaron
good
Imholt
point.
would kill
Good
himself.
that's a good point. Real quick, let me just say up here at the top that we do have the super tip system in play. Supertip.gg/WATP. Open that up. and you can
In
participate.
play.
It's in play right now. You can participate in the show. Are you going to critique?
Sounds like an Aaron gimmick. Guys, it's activated for the next 2 hours only.
Guys, don't worry. You can. It's open to all comers.
This is why the super tip system is important, because a percentage of the money does go to Patrick, and he does have attorney fees that are piling up already. So we're going to need you guys to participate if you want to help out our friend Patty Melt over here.
Combing through the millions of messages and files. Just to see how deep I stepped in it this time. Ah, Melton, you've done it again.
I have a lot to say about that. I want to get into it in a little bit, because what I want to talk about first is this Keanu video that everyone's watching, everyone's talking about. We've seen the analysis of it. I'm not going to play it again for you here, but apparently Keanu and April had either a text exchange or a phone conversation. I guess a phone conversation.
I was gathering that, but
'Cause
it's always kind of hard to tell with her. She's vague in certain ways and not vague at all in other ways.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's some miscommunication going on. But according to Keanu, who, by the way, remember when April wasn't talking to her? And then she's like, oh, if she ever talks to me again, I won't say anything. I won't tell anyone what she said to me. I won't spill any secrets. And as soon as they have a conversation, she's right on her show going, so listen to what April said.
Well, these were such vague illusions. Who could piece through what she was actually saying? It was very difficult.
She also did start out her entire episode, Keanu did. She was like, well, I'm not going to actually say what she said. And then
Right.
she proceeded to say a lot of things that April said.
And for Aaron to divulge it, she's been feeding him stuff she's been saying for weeks.
Right.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, this is incredible. Like, so the woman who claims to be April's friend and got really mad when she found out Aaron had physically abused her, and she knew it was real, and she'd seen enough, Toe, and she knew what you did, Toe, and all this stuff. And now it's like, okay, even if you do believe Nick is physically abusing her, has her chained up at this house or whatever, or won't let her get on the internet or whatever your delusion is, that she's not an autonomous adult who can take care of herself. But run back to the guy you were mad at for physically abusing her before and feed her information. These two are actually, again, I don't know anything about their trials, but aren't they like, is Aaron a witness in these cases or not? I don't even know.
Well, they have to go to trial for him to be a witness.
But for
obviously.
April's?
Same thing. I mean, I got to think that nothing ever goes to trial. In this country, nothing goes to trial anymore. Everyone
Right.
takes a deal. And Nick's already talked about it. He talked about it on the show last week. That was it. The 23rd is his next court date. And it's going to be talking about what the plea deal is looking like. And then he can either accept it or not accept it.
And it'll just be adjourned out. And
Actually, I shouldn't say everyone takes the deal because Riley is actually going to court against Eric July in January. The date has been set. He pled not guilty for that. So that'll be another fun thing to watch. But anyway,
I don't know anything about this.
neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. But we got to talk about Ethan Ralph and what's going on with him as well. How he got himself in the middle of all of this. I'm the only person without a search warrant from Minnesota right now.
I'm so proud of you.
You know what? I probably jinxed it. Now that I just said that.
Yeah, we should stream snipe the next court appearance. I think that'll be fun.
That's
Yeah,
a good
Kyle.
idea.
Or sorry, Karl. Don't act like you didn't get the files. Come on, you got the
Oh,
files.
don't tell people that. I never opened up the zip file. I'm fine. So yeah, I feel like people are all taking sides, and it seems like Keanu and Gino are now taking sides. They didn't like Aaron, but now they don't like Nick more, so that means they do like Aaron.
Well, can we believe
Something.
Aaron? Aaron says that, Aaron, the way Aaron puts it is, we talked, apologies were made and accepted. But from what I hear, he called Gino,
That's what Gino said, yeah.
which is always to get ahead of something or to cut someone off. I don't trust any motive whenever it's like Johnny and Matt. Like, Aaron doesn't reach out to friends. He doesn't have real friends. They're all just useful idiots and tools. So like, just like Kevin Brennan, but Aaron believes it. Like, oh, the weekend, my warrant was out. Kevin Brennan called to check on me. It's like, are you dumb? Like,
right.
He called
know
to
why he
check
did
on
that,
you.
right?
Like,
You okay, bud?
but Aaron does that. Aaron does that to people. So it's funny that he falls for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's like, oh, the Kino Casino guys love me. They want to have me on. It's like, okay.
Well, so I just want to put this out there because I feel like because there's this like, well, do you like Nick or do you like Aaron? And I've been accused of sweeping for Nick Rekieta quite a bit. Now, I don't do a weekly Nick Rekieta show, but I will tell you, Nick's not a great guy. I've said this before.
I was going to say, am I allowed to not like everyone involved?
Yeah,
in
right.
this?
They're all horrible people. I've said this before, but having 25 grams of coke and guns that are just out and shit like that with 4 children running around, not a great scene. Probably a bad thing.
It's one of these things I think that's come about because of the pandemic and social media. It's like, so like, just because Nick called in and you treated him like a human,
Yeah.
you're a fucking sweeper. You're a Nick sympathizer.
I also asked him why his wife didn't flush the coke down the toilet. We did have some important questions that we need to get to the bottom of.
So look, I mean, also like we are all at the end of the day comedy shows. So like we're all watching this. We're all wild with it. If Nick wants to call and get involved with it, he can.
Of course.
And if Aaron wanted to call in, we'd take the call.
Stuttering John wants to call it away.
Right. It's like
the phone lines are open.
You can't talk to people. You can't like. And again, what should the consequences be for Nick if he's guilty of all this? Should no one ever talk to him again? And he should not be able to exchange goods and services in our society? Like, what are we going for?
I didn't understand like what I was doing. So on my show, I played one of the clips of you guys talking to Nick, and I made fun of one of Karl's reactions to Nick because I was like,
look,
look
for
at
25 minutes straight, you guys fucking. I texted Mike. I'm like, I'm glad you enjoyed that, but it really needed 25 minutes on.
But I was like, look at him, he's loving it. And then I saw a couple comments of people like, thank God Mike took Karl down a couple of pegs. I was like, oh, is that what I was doing? I didn't realize. I didn't realize I was taking a side in this. Like, I just think it's funny to watch all these people. And then when you talk about it, you get mixed up in like, he's defending Nick or he's defending Aaron.
Yeah. Everyone wants to figure out whose side they're on. And I have some very funny screenshots from Kiwi Farms that I'm going to show in a little bit. But you were clowning me for 25 minutes, and you were surprised people thought you were going after me. What do you mean?
Don't do the Stuttering John thing. His whole show's about me. But
All right,
25 minutes in the Blind Mike Project world is like 5 seconds on other podcasts.
That's true.
What I find fascinating about all the people who are so mad at Nick is like he's the only one still facing very serious charges. Like they got him. What are you all upset about? They got him. They got him. He is answering for his crimes. He is.
No, if they had thrown it out because of the search warrant was obtained in a manner that's not legal, if that would have happened, then yeah, it would be up in arms and how could he get away with this shit? But it didn't happen. The judge said no.
And even if that did happen, then that's what happened. Like you got to move on. Like why are you so invested in it?
And he might be committing more crimes, right?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
You think?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the answer to that.
The hard thing, honestly, the hard thing is like being in contact with somebody is like then doing a show where you do talk shit and speculate shit.
Right.
So then people just assume like, oh, because you talk to this guy, you know all this shit. It's like, no, I'm just running my mouth and my brain like I always do about everything. I don't know. I really don't know shit. I mean, I really don't. You're going to find out. I have a feeling all this will get, like I said, like it seems like seems like a pretty serious thing and Aaron's going to go through with it. Like, okay, it will all come out and you'll all find out how much is real. Like
when it was revealed that Aaron had logged into a computer at Nick's house and Nick has all of his Google history on email and YouTube and all this crazy shit.
Can I put a dividing line in here?
Yeah.
When it was revealed, it still hasn't been revealed.
Oh, that hasn't been revealed.
I do want to say it seems very convenient.
Nick's never told me that. Nick's never told me he has access to Aaron's Google account.
Right.
I'm going by Aaron and Nick.
Yeah. As soon as the screenshots came out on Twitter, Aaron pretty much confessed to that. Assume that's what's going on. Yeah, and he changed his password.
Right. That's why all this is out.
Right.
Okay, because to me it seemed a little convenient that Aaron would be like Googling Nick Rekieta and then Googling cuck porn immediately after. So it felt like maybe Nick photoshopped it or something was going. I didn't realize that Aaron pretty much.
If Aaron had played this better, we would all think that.
Yeah, that was my initial reaction too. And then as soon as I started seeing the Twitter stuff, I was like, oh wait, no, you're stupid. You're so stupid. You could have just acted like none of this happened.
Instead, he goes on the show the next day and he goes, well, I was at the police department yesterday and I was told not to talk about any of this. You're like, oh, so this is all real. Okay.
Jesus.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
So he was told not to talk about it, so he's going to talk about it ad nauseum for the next 3 weeks.
Correct. You can't.
Gently,
I can't wait.
People have ramped this up to like Sopranos level drama. They're like, you got RICO charges coming, you're witness tampering. I'm like, oh boy. Well, I don't know about a trial, but I guess I've tampered with a witness.
Right. Well, that's the thing that I was just talking to Dick about this the other day. Is I know Nick's a smart guy when it comes to law. It's why people know who he is, because he was analyzing court cases and was pretty intelligent about it. So if he's putting out these screenshots on Twitter, I'm guessing he knows more about it than I do as far as the legality of it. Now, I could be completely wrong. He might be a buffoon who's doing something very stupid that's going to bite him in the ass.
Right. I don't know what Nick's done. I really don't. I just speculate if he has access to his Google account. There's no end, again, from Nest cameras to passwords and credit card. I mean, a Google account is all encompassing of a lot of shit. So, like, I understand why Aaron is freaking out if he thinks that's real.
Right.
The only thing I care about is the PayPals and Venmos.
Gross.
That you get the notification in your email when one goes in, because that could all be traced back to, wow, it's amazing that in the 4th hour you got this $100 in that got him into overtime. It happens a lot. I wonder if any of that.
If you put dates and times with when he was live. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can all be correlated. All right. I got off track. I want to talk about these Keanu revelations. So she's talking to April, and April says she's living in the house that Nick owns that's near his house. We've seen the photos from inside because they're trying to sell it. There's no furniture. It's just a big, open, empty house. And so all she does, there's no internet. So she watches TV on her phone all day until Nick texts her. Now, how do you watch TV on your phone with no internet?
I was wondering the same thing. Keanu didn't seem to question that. Yeah.
What does that mean?
People don't think of their phone as having internet access.
That's crazy. Your phone is literally like a mobile hotspot if you want it to be.
Isn't it funny that Aaron and April now are alone in big houses?
Yeah, you're right.
And it's just very quiet. There's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of time to think, except one of them has a 20-inch soundbar and a new TV.
Ooh, sweet. Good deal for that.
So you guys can maybe answer a question for me, and I have probably just missed this, but I don't understand. So April is allegedly living in this house with nothing to do. She's just watching TV with no internet all day. Does she not have a job? Is she
No.
not? Okay, wouldn't you think this is like my train of thought? And again, perhaps this is all already known and I'm just out of the loop here because there's way too much to follow. But I would think that she would like want to be showing the court that she was a productive member of society for all of her legal battle. No, am I way off base here?
No, the first thing I would do is get a new job. I mean, she obviously is an accomplished podcast host. Put that on your resume and see what it gets you.
Well, she must be doing something for sustenance, food, and because like Nick said on your show last week, he did that weird thing where he's like, "No, she used to be my girlfriend, but she's not anymore." And according to Keanu, like Nick and his wife were having fights about April, so it's not like she's relying on them for money. It doesn't seem right.
Well, Keanu alluded to the fact that Nick was only contacting her when Kayla was out and he wanted to get a piece.
Right.
So that's
Whoa.
So she's only eating when he's horny. That's
No,
what
I
you're
mean,
trying to say?
Whoa.
No, when you have a sex slave, you stock the fridge. I'm not telling you this from
okay.
experience. I've seen movies.
Okay.
That's like his root cellar.
Right. I mean, is that crazy to think that if he's sleeping with this girl, and she doesn't need that many calories. We've all seen April. So it wouldn't be expensive to just throw some peanut butter in there.
Do you think she looks out the window like a dog? Like when Kayla pulls out of the driveway, she's like, "Ah, yes."
Jesus.
Salivating.
There's probably a tunnel connecting the two houses. The Underground Railroad, if you know what I'm talking about.
I see what you did there.
I felt bad for April a little bit when I was listening to Keanu, but then the way Keanu plays it, like from the little I've watched April on that show, she might not be like the smartest girl in the world, but she's not a retard.
Right.
She's not like I don't know, I don't need no internet. What do I do without Nick? Like she's not a fucking moron.
Maybe his giant Polish sausage has fucked her retarded.
I guess.
Gross.
So a couple of things that happened during this Keanu cast is she said, I'm just happy that she's talking to me again. And so it's like, oh, good. They're friends again. We'll see how long that lasts now that she spilled this. And there's this other moment. Maybe you guys know this, but Gino starts yelling something. I was going to say from the other room, from the other part of the room. And we can't hear what Gino is saying. She goes, what? She goes, oh, okay, whatever. Do you guys know what Gino was yelling at her during this?
No.
My guess is shut the fuck up about April.
Oh.
Have you not learned she doesn't like her secrets being revealed on the internet yet?
And Keanu said something interesting at the beginning of that whole exchange. Like, I'm so excited she's finally talking to me again.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's what I mean. It's
well,
so
do you want her
funny.
to stop again?
Yep.
Which also leads me to speculation that again, April went away for some time. Do we know the gap that she didn't tweet? Is there a possibility she went to some facility or something?
For sure. Yeah. So April tweeted this after Keanu said what she said. And she wrote, she misinformed the internet. So I apologized to Nick for my miscommunication. Then I made it clear that private conversations don't belong on the internet and that Nick didn't miss a test. I heard a lot of wrong things said tonight that I've never said. I'll stay private now. And then Keanu says, don't apologize to him. I talked to you. Very clear conversation. So if anyone misinformed anyone, if it's not true, it's him to you. He should apologize if that's the case for making you feel bad. So she's doubling down. She's like, April's trying to spin this maybe or something. It's just like, yeah, no. Keanu's wrong. I must have miscommunicated. She's like, oh no, I heard every word you said. I communicated perfectly.
2 questions. First of all, is that April or did she get hacked?
There's been debate.
Do we know that that's her?
I'll tell you
April
this,
Fountain.
she's
Wild.
batshit. If it's real,
Yes.
she's batshit. Like crazy.
So April responds to that and says, this isn't going anywhere, so I'm done. The conversation we had was about something entirely different because we were both confused. Nick didn't miss a drug test. I'm leaving it at that. I've been alone a long time, and sometimes things get miscommunicated. My sadness wasn't for, I got to click show more, wasn't for the internet.
What
She's
a
like Jesse
reveal.
Pinkman at the end of Breaking Bad.
What a reveal.
What's that, Mike?
She's like Jesse Pinkman at the end of Breaking Bad. She's
Right.
just chained up in a basement.
Yeah, I was
Plotting her
picturing she's stuck in some space station all alone. She's not been contacted for years, and she's just starting to eat her own brain with her thoughts.
Let's see what the people are saying as they watch this very important episode of This Little Piggy. MGD with £5 says, Mr. Mike of the Blind, you may not know this, but you are one handsome feller.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Got a lot of admirers out there, Mike.
I appreciate it.
Let the skirt know she's got some competition.
She knows.
Scrotum Tingle, member for 4 months, says, I am calling the total Lucy simp death. Shit show, member for 6 months. How about everyone but Lucy play radio? You want to get rid of our images? It's not a bad idea. Pest says, so Aaron is witness tampering by talking and calling Gino now? Witness tampering for everyone. That's what's so confusing about all of this.
Is everyone in their lives a witness? They're not allowed to
Yeah,
speak
right.
to anybody?
It's
People are convinced that like Nick has advised me on this content or like about the law regarding it, or like people are retarded. Like we don't.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on at all.
Matt McHale, $5 says, we are all taking sides. I am hashtag Team Tightbox.
Aw.
It's a big team.
Damn it.
Duke John's Gippy Halloween at $2 says, looking good, Karl. Lucy Tightbox isn't too bad either.
Thank you.
I believe I met him in Detroit.
John's Skimpy
John's
Halloween
Gippy
hat?
Halloween
Yeah, he's
hat,
amazing.
Wow.
He's amazing. What are you snickering at?
Good for him. All right. Gonzo Shitcock, remember for 15 months, says, can't believe you Benedict Arnolded the Atu Brooded, your BFF Steel Toe. Karl, see you all at ToeCon 2025 in Rochester. Skull. Anyone want to translate this for me?
You're it's so forced what you're doing to Steel Toe.
Oh, right.
You guys were best friends.
Buddy. Yes, correct. It's crazy that I watch a show and think it sucks. How is that possible? You might
Honestly,
say.
I didn't watch much of his show this week. It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, his show is boring because he doesn't talk about the shit that everyone wants him to talk about. Instead, he's just leaning into the cum eating, which we'll get into.
I mean, wow,
We'll
is he?
get into that, but first, Hunter Duke has a message for us. He $5. He says, I can't believe you let Patty back into the group. What needs to happen for SJ Maddox, the Toe, and Patty Seacup or Tom Myers to make a panel podcast? He I've done a show with Stuttering John. I would love to talk to him again. I'd also throw it out there to Steel Toe. Aaron, he can come on our show anytime and chat with us. I think that'd be fun.
He can have all the super chats.
Whoa.
All right.
That'll
There
really
you
knock
go. There
off
you go,
a
Aaron.
big-
Come on,
There's
Aaron.
the goal
That's
right
the deal.
there. That's amazing.
He has not been fixated on the goal the way I'm really here for the goal, and I
Oh,
haven't gotten much of that lately.
I mean, Thursday and Friday he did. Thursday
yeah,
and Friday
good.
there was a lot of the
okay.
old cracks coming through because
been
Monday,
watching those.
Tuesday didn't go well.
He missed the goal, and then by Thursday he was having a perfect week. It was incredible.
Wednesday night, really.
Perfect. Yeah, Wednesday night. He's perfect week. It's like, well, you missed the goal 67% of the
Monday
time.
morning, Tuesday morning. he,
How's
ma-
that?
Hey,
he also got 5 over Wednesday morning, and he let the night audience know right away, like, guys, the morning show was good to you. Knocked 5 right off. It's a 195 kind of night. It's a 195 night.
I always say that.
James Baumert coming in says, hey, Patrick, check out the Warlocks on this Lucy person. Hubba hubba. Not a good wingman, by the way. Be cool, man. Be cool.
right. Stop elbowing me.
Hey,
and
everybody,
pointing.
wouldn't it be really cool if we could christen the super tip system? That would be really cool. Maybe we start a rally and everybody donates $1 so we can knock out the goal. Maybe we can even hit the double, triple, or quad goal. Otherwise, I can't afford to go golfing anymore. And we might have to let Johnny die. His medication isn't as important as the toe and overtime.
It's true.
The voice is getting better.
It is good. Wouldn't it be funny if everyone who's watching right now gave us like $10 on Super Tip?
Oh
Wouldn't that
my
be hilarious?
gosh. That'd be
The funniest
hilarious.
show if that were to happen.
If how many people gave 10, Carl?
What if we had 50 people give $10 each or
What?
100 give 5?
Whoa.
Both would be hilarious.
Whoa.
I want all the listeners talk amongst themselves how they want to do this.
Or 1,000. You know, no other show's ever gotten 1,000. That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool right there if we got 1,000 somehow. Keel $5 says Melton loved the work the other day. People are stupid. Yes.
Oh, yeah. We should talk about that. Because
I'm
people
definitely
still don't
sorry.
know.
That is on my list. Let me just bump Jason Bentley, my man, up to the top of the line here with $20. Thank you, Jason. Says, I'm just here to give Karl and Mike some advice. Lay off the Georgia national treasure, John Rocker. Oh, John Rocker is back on social media. I don't know if he's ever on it before.
I'm excited.
Trump got elected and like all these assholes are coming out of the woodwork. Just like, all right, yeah, we're back, baby.
No rules.
Yes. So I can just talk about minorities all day on social media now, right?
Trump's
Yeah, I
like, not
guess.
now. Not now.
Cool. Yeah, John Rocker back on Twitter. Very exciting. Hey, the Bologna Factory coming in.
I do the show. Eat the breakfast pizza, slurp the cummies, drink the Celsius. I hit the goal. I eat the cummies. I chug the Celsius.
Kumi's fucking nasty.
Cummy Pizza Celsius Ranch.
Ooh, even Balin Dupree's going to get on the action there. I like it.
I wonder what his cum tastes like with all that fruit Celsius.
No.
Someone's gonna
We're
isolate-
not wondering
Someone's
that.
going to isolate that.
Well, I hear you're looking for your next big YouTube hit, Kaylee.
No.
Feels like Patreon.
I draw my line at butter.
We all watch the butter.
Yep.
Next.
Detective Cardiff here. Expert on everything related to drinking cum.
That's true.
Any new theory how Aaron consumed Nick's essence on purpose? It did not come from the tap or out of a pie. So, was it a game? By the way, if Nick had access to Aaron's Google, he could have just gone to cuck porn sites after Aaron went to Kiwi Farms and just manipulated the data directly.
That's true too.
Wow.
Good point.
That is a good point.
I don't know. how
Now
to
I'll have a
stop it.
nice warm glass of cum.
Well, you know, I mentioned this on my show last night, but Moody has a great theory that either April gave Nick an anecdote that she saw this in his search history once, that he would go to Kiwi Farms and read about Nick and jerk off right afterwards.
Right.
Or that he even saw it while it was logged in while they were married, so it was legal somehow because it's an old screenshot.
Yeah.
And that he even recreated it on another Google account and then took a screenshot of that. So
'Cause
it's
he did blur
technically
out
not
the-
a screenshot of Aaron's data.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot of legal loophole bullshit, you know, that people get mad about, but like, yeah, you're allowed to like duplicate something or replay it or mock it up or, you know,
Well,
and he didn't say ever that this is Aaron's.
he never did say it was Aaron's.
Aaron
He-
started freaking out. That's how we know.
Right, he blocked out the Google account user. It's similar to when Cardiff just posted a credit score on Twitter and suddenly John started freaking out. You're like,
yeah.
oh, so you do a 440 credit score, you idiots.
It just felt too much to me like what everyone would have wanted Aaron's search history to be.
It was convenient.
Yes, very convenient.
Interesting. So you're not buying it then?
I have questions about it.
I
Is
see.
it possible? Sure, but
I feel like I'm going to agree with you on this, Blind Mike. I feel like if you had that card, you would have held it closer to your heart for a little bit longer.
right.
So, like, I feel like we wouldn't have given it up so soon if that was what the goal was, and you know, if that was the information that was.
And
had.
we should also take into account it's possible Aaron never went to the police.
Yeah,
like
for
he
sure.
could just be lying about all of it, you know?
Yes, that is very true. Speaking of lying, so Patrick Melton did a show on his birthday. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, big
Thank
boy.
you.
And he was drunk and realized that the law is going to come crashing down on him. So he seemed very apologetic for his actions, very concerned about.
I got in a big fight with my wife.
Yep, very concerned about what might happen. You were thinking about destroying hard drives and
No ring today.
shutting down computers. I mean, Jesus, the newlywed, he's already getting arrested for felonies. That's horrible. So I'm watching this and live, and I'm like, I mean, it's kind of a funny bit, but no one's gonna obviously believe it. It's so stupid. And you know, I'm in the text thread, and Moody is sending me screenshots of Kiwi Farms while this is all happening. I was like, oh shit, these people, they want it to be true so badly that they're totally buying it. So I grabbed some of these so that we could take a look at what people were saying in real time. Did you see this stuff, Patrick?
No, I have not.
Okay. So Melton turning on Rekieta would be delightful. Someone's responding to that. He said on the stream, Rekieta set me up. He's currently talking about going to a hotel to hide from cops. Oh, wow. Talking about going to a hotel to hide, turning off all computers since hard drives are encrypted. So they're just buying all this stupid shit. And then Jackie's Abortion writes, if I turn my phone GPS off, does that help? And he's laughing about that because that's one of the things that you said.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, this guy is so stupid. Does he really think turning that off is going to do anything?
I was getting mad because I would delete something from Dropbox, but it would stay in the deleted folder or whatever.
People are like, does he really not know how Dropbox works? What an idiot. JB20 says, okay, is this guy really just that fucking dumb or is this just a bit? Just asked, what if I just uploaded it all to a public domain? And then, oh darn, quotes, what if I just uploaded it all? Holy shit, the Sonic Chew demon made the jump. This is not a drill. So they are buying it hook, line, and sinker. Then there's another response from a FAP cop. Laugh my fucking ass off. So he's testifying to attempting to destroy evidence? That's just delightful. What a goddamn moron. Sure, Melton, you try that. After all, it's not like it's all on a server somewhere in California. He could physically destroy his hard drive, and it wouldn't help him since Nick probably emailed him the stuff or used iMessage.
Oh, God, so good.
These people are all outsmarting you on this Kiwi Farms. No wonder this is where Aaron goes for his news.
My favorite thing was someone was like, you're way over your skis, Melton. I go, you think there are skis?
Yeah, it's worse than that. Mike Stocklasas Spock Ears says, holy shit. Melton said that all his personal info was also sent to Dick Masterson and Ralph. Big if true.
Yeah, I just started naming other people.
And then Jamie Toy says, well, he just admitted to some names that Nick sent out the info to. And then he sent it to another 4 people. He's fucked. And someone
The
else.
waters have really been muddied here.
Yes.
No one knows what to believe.
Someone else says he sounds very drunk. He's talking about how the cops can't get to him if he deletes the tweets and photos. This stream has to be archived. They're like, oh my gosh, he's going to take this down, guys. We got to get
I realized that like halfway through, because I hadn't really had anything to drink, that it wasn't believable. So I did fix myself a real whiskey to just get the slurring going a little bit. Because I knew it wasn't believable
So
enough.
committed
It was
to
so
the
good.
bit.
What an artist.
It was because the listeners were doing, the callers were hilarious, and I was trying so hard not to laugh, and it was so obviously fake. The people who are like, oh, it's so clear he was faking it. It's like, that's the point. These guys want stuff to be true so badly that they just ignore all obvious signs that, of course, this guy's not panic deleting 28 gigabytes of files live.
Which is why, again, I've said this so many times. This is why I thought that April was going to show up next to Aaron that next week after he said they were divorced, because it would have been a great work with all you guys going, I knew it, they got a divorce, and April hates this guy, and she's gone, and he shows up, and like, it would have been like Melton and Soft Weekly going, oh, fuck, Chad. And that's why I thought that's how you do a work, people. You get people to work against themselves with their own momentum. Let me just read a couple more of these. Because, like I said, I was just going, okay, I mean, whatever. It's a bit. He'll stop doing this anytime now. But then when I started reading this, I was like, oh, this is actually working on these idiots. He says, I mean, maybe kayfabe is more likely than a person actually being this stupid. But Aaron's talking like something untoward happened. It's not kayfabe if you really committed a crime.
That's a good point.
And then someone says, something about it does feel gay-oppy to me, but I would enjoy being wrong. So some people are a little suspicious.
Something's off, but I'm going to err on the side that he's probably committed more crimes.
Hold on a second here.
And then Hacker X has got some good responses. So he's quoting other people. He says, he sounds very drunk. He's talking about how the cops can't get him if he deletes his tweets and photos. And he writes after that, what computer forensic and digital footprint for $300, Alex? And then if I turn my phone GPS off, does that help? And he writes, what is no for 400, Alex? By the way, you don't have to frame it in a question when you're talking about the category. I'll take, yeah, anyway.
That's a good point. You should get in this comment section.
I know, I should probably
I was
know they're
asking,
doing it wrong.
I was asking how long I could hide from the warrant before it like goes null and I get away with it.
One more I'll read here. Desktop user 2 says, so he's responding to, this isn't as impressive a credential as he might think. And he responds, maybe not, but he has Infosys degree according to his LinkedIn. He can't claim adios mio. I don't know what a zip file is, senor.
My God.
So they're trying to say like you're playing stupid about this. Like, I don't know. I think he actually does know how computers work, guys.
I'm pretty sure.
We're going to nail him on this one.
To be fair to Patrick's commitment to bits, is I played a clip of him a few weeks ago, and I was like, I don't get it. Why would Patrick do this? And then people in the chat were like, I think he's just trying to get a reaction out of Aaron. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
That'll do it for sure. So has Aaron responded to this show that you did now?
No, oh no, Aaron won't address anything to do with Aaron won't address anything to do with the hacking or the potential hacking or the leaking of his internet history or whatever, other than weirdly, again, DMing clippers that are sympathetic to his cause, who are not really sympathetic to his cause, who are just against Nick. Anybody they can align themselves with who can help them bring down Nick is their goal. And I think they think my goal is anything to bring down Aaron. And I really do not want to bring down Aaron. I do not want to ruin Aaron's livelihood. This is great. As Aaron said, this has saved my life, my show, my family, my home.
I will say, so Blind Mike and I do a show called Who Are These Socials? And there's this guy, Delete Laws, Chili de Castro. Yes. And we've been following him, and every other week or so, we're playing clips of him and talking about it. Then he goes to jail, and he said it's 6 months. And it's like, oh, well, that went away. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
so none of us
it hasn't been the same since.
Right. None of us want these people to go to jail. We want them on the internet doing shows.
Right.
I was thinking about the funniest outcome for Aaron is actually him going back to radio. Like,
oh yeah.
It's like a complete failure for him on the internet, which he convinced himself there's no room for growth on the internet, which is so insane. That's one of his reasons for going back.
The Minnesota Vikings score behind him. He is trying. He's not really looking for a broader audience, is he?
And then I showed
that going to radio was a big success.
Yes,
he thinks that's a step up.
Right. I used this analogy the other day. It's radio is the only business you see that in, where for some reason radio guys, even if they start a podcast, like really want to get back into radio, where you never see like a payphone worker be like, no, Verizon's offering me a lot of money, but I won't do it. Right. I'm a payphone man through and through. Like, it's a dying industry. I don't know why he's so desperate to get back into it.
Yeah, Eric Zane, same thing. As soon as he started doing the podcast, all he was doing was trying to get gigs back on radio.
Yeah,
he did.
It's
weird. He got a radio show again.
That's my theory of why Aaron makes himself wake. You know, he's like, it's so hard to get up every morning and do this show at 6 a.m. It's like he really like, and now imagine doing it for 4 years. Like, no, I'll be going back to AM anytime, and I need to like keep this muscle. I need to keep exercising this muscle of waking up at 6 a.m. because at any moment I'm going to get called back up to be on the real radio. And we released our Moody, more appropriately, went and did some research because he's constantly. I called it. I said he talks about getting his number one spot back so much it makes me think he wasn't number one, like because he mentions it so much. And then Moody went back and found the I think 18-month charts from before he got fired, right up till the spring 2020 of when he got fired. He never made it past number 4 in the morning. He was never more than number 4 in the morning. And the spot that he said he took the number 1 spot from never made it past number 2.
But
I mean, it's wild.
Does he use certain demographic? Like he was number 1, men, 45.
In the like main demo, like in the 18 to 34, whatever that they, the demo.
Yeah.
But like he was never more than number 4. So it's not even close. It's not like he was number 2 and then number 1 in some demos. No, he was number 4. He wasn't even close. So this, like, I got to get back to number 1 I'll be number one in 6 months is so crazy.
If you say a lie enough times, it becomes the truth.
I
Right.
never
I didn't
wake
eat
up.
cum.
Gross. I never wake up in the morning and say to myself, wow, the grass is green and the sky is blue, because I just know that those things are true and I don't need to remind myself of those things. Sorry, blind Mike.
It's a lot of
sorry.
affirmations
right.
going on this
But
show.
and that's exactly what it is, and it's so frustrating to listen to him do that shit because I just don't care at all. Although I will say that if he does get back on the radio, Jocktober 2025 is going to be bonkers.
Yes, that I'm looking forward to that. In fact, I might even do Jocktober in January and February and March. Don't think I would be upset.
Is number one in St. Cloud, Minnesota that difficult?
That's
You know
a
what I mean?
very
Like, it's
good
not a
point.
major market. It's not the biggest market in Minnesota.
It was
186th.
185th or something like that. Yeah. So he's the 4th biggest morning show in the 185th market.
Yeah.
Killing it.
All right, let's talk about the cuckold admission that he made this week, because he admitted that he's a cuck, but he did this brilliant thing where he changed the definition of what a cuck is. It'd be like, Stuttering John keeps calling me a twink, which, yeah, I mean, if it means a hilarious alpha male with tons of chicks, yeah, of course I'm a twink. Like, no,
Right.
that's not what a twink is. He's calling you gay. Like, yeah, no, that's not how I take it, though. For some reason, Aaron says, yeah, I'm a cuck if it means that the person you're with is sleeping with another guy.
Well, he said not only he says if it means that, he says the technical definition
That's
of a
right.
cuck
That's right.
is when your spouse is sleeping with somebody else. And it's like, is it? I don't think that's what it is.
That
I don't
might
think that's what Shakespeare meant.
That might be the first half of the sentence, but then the other half of
Right.
the sentence is, and you're enjoying watching.
Yeah, and you're
Right.
on cleanup duty. It's the second half of that. That's the part that he's forgetting, apparently.
It's also called intimidating the witness.
Well, even if that is the technical definition, if it's just a guy that his wife
isn't.
cheated on him or whatever, well, like, even if it were, we all know what you're saying. Like, if you call me gay, it's like, oh yes, I am a very fun man. I do
Right,
experience merriment.
Yeah, you change
No,
the
you know what you
definition,
mean.
doesn't change the definition. You're not Webster Merriam. You can't
Right.
Right.
do that. So this is, the cum eating stuff, because, Nick Rekieta even wrote in there, and then he got banned. You looked in her eyes as you licked it. You smiled. And we got to give some
So
props
weird.
to Tukey, who couldn't be here today, but Tukey was in the chat and was able to chat
Do
a bunch of times in a row.
A cum eater tower.
This cum eater tower right there in the chat. Well done, Tukey. That's always fun. So let's talk about this, because this is what Nick tweeted out. Here is one of the examples of a Nick tweet showing this search history. And again, we don't know whose search history this is. We don't know if it's real. We don't know anything that's going on here, right, guys?
We know that Aaron said Nick had access to my computers because I did a stream over there. And then we put 2 and 2 together because Nick also a week before tweeted, Aaron jerks off after reading my Kiwi Farms thread, and I can prove it.
Okay.
And
so
then
yeah.
he rubs that again on this little piggy last week, and then the next morning he drops it all. We do know.
This is a Google search history that Nick posted on Twitter, and you can see he went to the Nick Rekieta thread on Kiwi Farms at 11:39 a.m. and then again on 12:19 and then again at 12:21, and then at 12:21, so the same minute, he heads over to Pornhub, and from there, this is what bothers me. He goes to the free recommended porn. Like, he doesn't know what he wants. He's going to let Pornhub decide for him. What do you got for me today?
What an amateur.
This AI is good.
And what's great is that they recommend hot relevant sex. And so he clicks on that and he gets to a video. Pornhub does know what he likes. That is hot wife XXX. Latina wife tells hubby she's nervous fucking another man, which is most certainly cuck porn.
Latina wife. I like that. He's
was
sick of
gonna
these
say.
white women.
Yeah, no one in this situation is Latina. This could be totally unrelated, honestly.
Well, I said this when this leaked. What was missing for me is the 300 other pages of videos. I don't know one guy who picks a video and jerks off to completion without clicking on another video 17 times before they come.
So if this is true, if this is his search history, and we got to think that it is because Aaron was so freaked out about it that he claims he went to the police. Does he show the police this screenshot? What is that conversation like with the detective out there?
Let's pretend this was
cop is
your.
like, that's my wife.
Let's pretend this was your browser history from a jerk session you did in June or July or whenever they say this is from. I don't know how people dated it, but they dated it. And so if this was your history, you wouldn't know it if somebody like just put up a shot and said this is Karl's history. You would know if it was close enough to be okay, this could be my history.
Right, yes.
But again, so whatever it is, it spooked Aaron. Like it's real enough to where Aaron's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Laws were broken. I gotta go to the cops. But it could be a complete fabrication.
Yeah,
like
it's a plausible thing that this was him, regardless of if it is or it isn't.
All right, so best case scenario is Nick made all of this up. These are all fabricated, but he thought that this is actually his activity on the internet and it would get him to react just like how Cardiff put up the credit score.
Yep.
That it wasn't really John's credit score.
And it functioned
got him to
very
react. So if that's the case, if Nick comes out and the big reveal is, I don't have fucking access to anything. I was just fucking with him to see how he'd react. Then he reacted completely wrong in every way. Is that what we can conclude?
But they're saying that's a crime anyway.
Why?
I don't know. That's what they're saying, witness intimidation or whatever. But it's like, what's the intimidation? Aaron's already told the cops what he knows. Nick said he has a recording of it. And no, Nick even said, I want him to testify. Like there's no one's reached out to Aaron trying to get Aaron to not.
Yeah, there's no blackmail involved.
Stupid argument. Like, no, you're out of your minds. Like,
well, it also isn't necessarily witness intimidation if he hasn't been subpoenaed yet. Has he?
Oh, that's a good point.
So if he hasn't been, and again, Nick is educated enough about the law that he would know things like that. So if Aaron hasn't been subpoenaed yet, then it doesn't matter what's happening right now. If he gets subpoenaed after the fact, you don't retroactively implement those sorts of things. So this would make sense. I was questioning the timing earlier. I was saying I would have held this closer to my heart. Perhaps it makes sense to release this information now or do the work now.
If you think it will get subpoenaed, it is going to go to trial.
Or maybe Nick's about to sign a deal and then he'll have a suspended jail sentence hanging over his head. Whereas if he violates any law from that point forward, it could come crashing down for him. So he's like, let me just do this now.
That's interesting. That's a great theory because as we know, November 23rd, he's going to go in and talk about this plea deal. And he said that it's not bad what they've offered him. It's not the best. So it sounds to me like he's leaning towards a plea deal, right? Wouldn't you say, based on what he said on This Little Piggy last week? So if he's thinking about that and he gets a very similar thing that Aaron got, where it's like, if there's anything in the next 12 months, you spend 90 days in jail. It's like, all right, well, I know I'm going to have that deal starting in late November. Now's the time to fuck with this guy. It's not going to fall into that jurisdiction, that time frame.
And, people have speculated like, dude, Melton, he used you to like do that. And maybe that's true. But I called that from the beginning. I said, the only reason Nick's over here is to fuck with Aaron.
Yes.
Now you could go like, so you admit you tried to intimidate the witness. It's like, no, I have a track record of just fucking with Aaron because I know he reads and watches everything he does. Not even harassment. He comes and watches it and then reacts. So like, that's what we're all doing, like reacting off clips of each other's shows. So maybe he did use me, but we used him a little bit. I mean, that's what we're doing here, right? Nick's super chatting to get reactions too.
That was another funny thing that Aaron said this week. He goes, the kids aren't watching any of these programs. The kids don't know what's going on with these programs. But also, NLO is sexually harassing his daughter somehow. It's like, well, it can't be both of those things. If she doesn't know what's going on, then nothing that you say on YouTube is going to be harassment to that person. I could be wrong. I'm not a legal mind, as I've said many times.
You?
Right? Can you believe it?
I just have to say, my main takeaway was I felt now I know how Chris D'Elia felt when he realized you could screen record on Snapchat. I didn't realize how thorough search histories were. I was like, they know minute to minute. I erase everything.
And you should too, by the way. It's not a bad idea. I do a show called The Creep Off. My search history is brutal. You would think I was a serial killer if you look through my search history. It's not great. So let's talk about Aaron is trying to lean into the cum eating thing.
Yeah.
I mean, way too much. He's
Oh my
overdoing it now, where he's leaning into it, just like, oh yeah, I guess I'm eating cum now.
He's got a bowl and a spoon out on his show.
Right, yeah.
Well, the beautiful poetic justice of all that is on Friday's show, he did the whole act out like, wait, it's going to come out that Melton eats cum. And he did a big act out where he was like, "Glah, glah, glah, glah," like he really sold it. And people were like, whoa. And then later that afternoon, Nick says that Aaron confirmed ate cum.
Yep.
And we think it did come out of April's snatch now. Is that what we're assuming?
I assume that because it could have been her mouth, but I assume.
I like your baby bird theory.
Yeah, the baby bird theory's fun, but I assume it could be cleanup from a different part of her body or something like that. Because if this is his search history, that's what he's into. That's what he's watching.
Maybe she rang it out of Nick's beard into his mouth.
Wait,
why was it Nick's beard?
I didn't know that was even a possibility on this.
Very impressive.
Connor coming $5 says, Karl, can you explain to Pat how you allowed pause and rewind on a stream? He doesn't know how. Yeah, Patrick wants people watching live with him.
I like all the chat synced up, so we're all on the same page. I get very controlling about it. I'm like Aaron.
You are. You're a dictator.
All the usual suspects, and now we got some whole named Yeasty Loosebox giving her 2 cents. Listen up, folks. Do I eat a little cum? Yes. Am I a cuck? Yes. Do I abuse my wives? No. I beat them. Get it right, Big Sauce.
A little southern twang there.
I think that was the other thing this week that Nick said that Aaron physically abused April. Nick tweeted that.
That to me was like the main thing. Everyone like glossed over it.
I said this last week. I said it last week on the show, and he's like, he definitely physically abused her, and I was like, well, this is important. Like,
and then April was in the chat. Like, yeah, everything Nick's saying is true.
So here's how you know Aaron is an abusive, manipulative liar. His excuse for why he can't address the search history stuff is that it's legal. I can't address it. Now, okay, fair enough. We'll give you that just because we'll give it to you because who knows?
He was told by people smarter than him to not talk about it.
But he has rolled around like this little piggy in shit all week in this cum eating allegation, bathing in it.
Yes.
Now, also alleged on the same show as the cum eating are physical abuse allegations. Why will he not address that? He can't say it's related to this leak that's legal and he can't discuss it. Why can't he ever address that in 2022, his wife, his newlywed wife, decided to tell his former wife, his ex-wife, that he was a monster, he was irredeemable, he couldn't change, he was a narcissist, and that he physically abused her on multiple occasions? Like, why can't he ever address this?
It was on Kiwi Farms. So it absolutely has to be true according to movie logic.
That's right.
It's so insane why he dances around and then he tries to get everyone. The reason he's leaning so far into this cum eating thing is because it's a distraction. There's a lot of other really serious stuff going on about him. So the more he gets everyone focused on the cum eating because it's silly and most of his fans are low IQ, Midwestern, straight, God-fearing people, so the cum stuff is super funny and silly. They don't focus on the abuse allegations. They don't focus on the fact that he possibly was jerking off to reading about children. Like that's kind of a weird thing when he's been screaming about child stuff for a while. Like these are real things like
that he can't address, and that's what makes it worse when you say, well, no, I can't talk about that. It's like, then don't talk about anything, because now we think there's other stuff. There's a reason why he's not addressing it.
And the HRO stuff with Ashley, remember, was where the abuse allegation texts were in. And he says that's all squared away and fine now. So now can you address the texts that were in it about the abusing your wife, choking or headbutting?
He did address it. Remember what he said? He goes, ex-wives lie. Ex-wives lie.
Everyone who's close to me knows this is bullshit.
Yeah, right, yeah. And
Even
all my
though there's
friends tell me
nobody
I don't
close.
choke them out.
Yeah, all my friend.
Right. But it's funny because he goes, ex-wives lie when he addresses that, but obviously missing the point that she was his
She was
current
not
wife.
an ex. She was a newlywed wife. She
Yes,
was
but she
8
was
months into
sending
the relationship.
Text messages. So
8 months in, she said it happened multiple times already. So
but this is what he does to gaslight his audience because he knows there's a percentage of his audience that's just getting the news from him. So if he just lies to them blatantly.
And that's why he wants to be back on radio, because then it is all living in one
Yes.
exact moment. And that's everything he says is gold.
Well,
in April. Sorry, go ahead.
That's
I
the
was gonna say,
beauty of. I thought you were giving me the going. Please, Mike.
I was gonna say it was interesting to me that April also didn't refute that when she's been on Twitter. She was in your guys' chat last week, and she never said like, "Oh, actually, no, he didn't headbutt me."
Right.
You know,
She
Like-
said he was abusive and alluded to it several times in tweets this week.
Oh
And
yeah, let me pull
also
that up. I have.
indicated she's gonna have her vengeance. It also seems like she is going to go after him for that.
I actually have one of April's tweets that we can look at right here. Because, so again, is this April? Is she hacked? Who knows? But she writes this tweet that says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, pretty girl. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. It took me so long to be able to say I love you and I'm going to protect you. This is making me cry for real. This is hard to watch alone. I'm sick." And what she's referring to is this 12-second video that sounds like this.
Marriage involves a bunch of sacrifices and stuff. Well, it doesn't have to.
Right.
You know.
It only involves one sacrifice. She gets out of line, she sacrifices her breath. Right?
Right.
Wow. So that right there is alluding to the fact that she was abused and it
Well,
was right there on display.
If a
for us
clipper
all.
pulled it and posted this in Steel Toe Boring Show, you'd be like, all right, you're stretching it. She
Right.
posted it and said,
Yes.
"Oh, baby
she posted that?
girl."
I
Yes.
was literally doing what you're saying. I'm like, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Right,
I
right.
didn't realize
But
she
if,
posted that.
if she posts this and goes like, "Oh, baby girl, you were so lost. I'll never let this happen to you again." Like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
That's her tweet with that video in it.
Jesus Christ.
It doesn't look good.
Well, that's where I'm like, because like there were some things where Nick doesn't seem necessarily of sound mind at all times. Like,
Sure.
he might be a little off the rails here and there.
The
So-
rails, I get it.
so I didn't mean that, but there were like points where I was like, I don't know if I believe everything this guy says necessarily, but then I always go back to that, like him saying that, where I think Nick is probably smart enough. If he doesn't know that for sure, he's not going to come on your guys' podcast and be like, yeah, no, 100%, he hit his wife. Like, that is true. He abused
And
her
again,
physically.
this is all coming, whether it's Nick telling us this or the shots of the text messages, it's all coming from April. Could April
Right.
be lying about this?
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
April probably isn't an upstanding citizen that we need to be listening to every word she says. I mean, this is the same woman who says that she's been alone in a home for 8 months with no internet, watching
sounds
TV at her phone.
Batshit. She sounds batshit.
And her
It's not
tweets are
like,
nuts.
Yeah, you made the point earlier, am I on Nick's side? Am I on Aaron's side? I can
Yeah.
hate everybody. You can also hate April in
Yeah,
addition to all of
of
that.
course.
And even if she was a battered woman, even if all of the things that she's saying or implying are true,
Mm-hmm.
you can still not like her as a person because she can still be a bad person in addition to having had something bad happen to her.
and like all these people, like, it's hard to tell with the people who still have pending charges. The reason we're so angry at Aaron is like it's all false mea culpas, none of it's real. He's not learned anything. He repeats the same mistakes over and over. The fact that, name it, from Slam Piece starting to get re-involved with the show in the same exact capacity that April was in the beginning.
Yep.
Like, it's so insane. He repeats the same patterns of banning anyone and not talking about anything that's like too harsh coming down crashing on him. The reason everyone lashes out and hates Aaron is because there's no redemption arc there for him. He just keeps falling and slipping down. You at least see Nick get his kids back, and we may not know any details about anything, but what we need to know is he satisfied the court enough to get his children back in his house. So he's changed something, for everyone who's like, he's drunk or high on the stream. I don't know how Nick talks enough to like make that kind of judgment. I thought he always sounded like that.
But Aaron getting fired from the radio, we haven't really talked about that on WATP anyway. I'm sure you've covered it on NLO. But he was viciously going after a woman because he felt slighted that she got a job that he wanted to get. And he went at her so hard and so viciously that they had to fire him. He learns nothing from his past mistakes.
Right.
Well, there are moments where I like empathize with Aaron. Like when I learned of all the shit that was happening, I was like late on this stuff. When I found out what was happening with like Rekieta and everything, I was like, oh, I feel bad for this guy. He walked into his house, this guy's house with his wife, and left without her. Like I can see why he's bummed about that.
Sure.
And then when you listen to Aaron talk about it, you're like, oh, I've lost any empathy I have for this guy. And it's the same with like this week where there were moments where I was like, well, that's pretty shitty. I wouldn't want my fucking Google history leaked on the internet and all this. And then when I listen to Aaron talk about it, I'm like, oh, who gives a shit? Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
But
it happened to the right person. Whatever.
You're right. He's one of the only guys that can tell his story. And at the end of it, without Nick even telling his side, you can go, oh, this guy got kicked out of the polycule. Like you go like, oh yeah. He's full of shit.
I think that was one of the things we talked to Nick about was like, when did you realize that this kid's a narc and you can't have him around when you're doing cool shit anymore?
Kayla kicked him out, he said.
Yeah, he did say that. All right. We're getting a little bit too serious on here. This Little Piggy's not a serious show. Let's get back to the fun. And by the fun, I mean Sharon C, $20 towards the goal. Thank you very much, Sharon.
Thanks, Sharon.
We love hitting the goal on this show.
Everyone says, I drank Nick's cum. But the reality is those were some chonky ropes from that tall Polish glass of milk. Ever eat a Laffy Taffy?
There's going to be a super cut of him like he keeps like bringing it up out of nowhere. I don't eat cum. I didn't eat cum. I didn't eat cum. Oh, you think I ate cum just because people are saying I ate cum? Well, I didn't eat cum if you think I ate cum.
You hear that, like, thorough Joe Burrow? Let's get on it. You hear that, real media player?
Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. Psalm 112:6.
Good to know. Thanks for reminding us about that.
For those of us without Bibles.
Yes. Cash $10 says, for the rally, where is Moody? New Zealand. Is he on the run? He stole my theory. No matter what, you are all screwed. It's going to look like the end of the Blues Brothers. Hut, 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 hut. Uh-oh. No, that's scary.
We'll see.
I can't believe that Melton is still showing up on the internet now that we all know he married Jake Hudson. By the way, congratulations to the wedding.
Yo, my wigger. So Melton got married to Jake Hudson? What the fuck?
That's how rumors get started right there.
#1 radio show with cuckold, cum drinking, revenge porn, and SpaghettiOs listeners.
Very good baloney fact, Jerry.
Very good demo.
We can claim that. Yes.
Tell that broad with the big tits the sky is violet, not blue.
Oh, she loves that type of trivia.
I'm learning.
So wait, you could say tits on Super Tips? That's fine? That's
yeah,
we
filter hate speech and violence.
Okay.
Lucy was snubbed, by the way, I thought, in best looking in the Dookie Awards.
Oh, you're right. When John was doing his Dookie Awards the other day.
Yes. Garbage.
It's fucked up. But
thank you, by the way. Thank you.
He's so in love with what's her name that I don't think you were going to win anyway.
No, I think that was solidified.
It was rigged.
I got to reach out to her again. I was messaging with I'm forgetting her name right
Kristen
now.
Carney?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kristen Carney. She's a big Bills fan.
Yeah.
So she's from Buffalo. So I think I get her on the show just pretending that we're going to talk about the Kansas City matchup. and then just go right into, so wait, John tried to fuck you. Let's talk about that.
What do these women think people want them on shows for?
I think Lucy knows.
You'll notice my top choice on all episodes.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm aware of why I'm here.
John from Ballsack, Kentucky, $2 says, Pat, have you seen a romantic movie with another guy?
Tons.
Good question. Good question. I remember when I was in high school, my buddy.
Oh my good God.
Oh,
Go
boy.
on.
My buddy Kevin was like, have you seen Titanic? I'm like, no. He goes, oh, you got it.
Oh,
It's such a
no.
good movie. And him and I, this is the second time he saw it. Him and I went to see Titanic together. And I was like, why did you take me to this movie, Kevin? This sucks.
Gay!
Hands on your lap.
I'm like, I'm getting close to the bottom of this popcorn. There's not going to be any surprises out there. Prince Grotz, $2. Melton, Aaron said he could get a 30 share. 30 share. That's like 30 people.
That's true, yeah.
Diablo sandwich, $5. Still catching up on this drama. Why the hate for Nick before Coke and kid stuff? Also, for a bunch of Trumpers, these people really hate factory work. Yeah, what's wrong with factory work?
From what I understand, and I'm new to Nick, but from what I understand is that when all the trial stuff was happening, when he blew up the LawTube world, that he pitched himself as this like trad dad. There's even all these clips of him like going around saying like you should only be with one person, and he's been with his wife since high school or whatever. I think young and all this stuff, and then he got caught going to like Swinger Island or something, and Hedonism 4. So I don't know what it was. Anyway, they all got mad. They all got mad that a guy wanted to fuck more. I don't know.
I actually watched a YouTube documentary about this. I don't know whose channel it's on, but I'm sure if you just search long enough.
Yeah, I
for
watched
Rekieta,
something
you'll
like
find
that.
it. Yeah.
But
I think that's it, right?
Is that what it is? Because
no, he's pretty much nailed it. Yeah.
Because people were sending me notes months before this all happened saying, Karl, you got to start watching Nick Rekieta. He's losing his mind. So I thought the reason why people were laying into him was because he was getting so fucked up on his show. Just getting drunk and high.
No,
and
it's
doing terrible
like
shows.
that. I mean, maybe that too, but it was that he was like a hypocrite, basically, who was preaching one
Right.
thing
Well,
and-
if you build a core audience of Christian monogamous, I think he talked about monogamy, Christian monogamy, trad dad stuff, and then flip it all of a sudden where you're like, but it is fun to like fuck other people. Somebody said like he knocked the help up at some resort and had to pay for abortion. I mean, this is all in this salacious documentary. I don't know what's real and what's not, but you can imagine how like a bunch of Christian traditional God-fearing family folk would
It's funny.
backlash.
The first time I ever met Nick, we were in Tampa for the Road Rage event. And I'm there, we're all staying at the same Airbnb. We're all hanging out. And when we were partying, Nick was going to meet up with fans. And then we came back after the show and I was up with Tab and Dick, and we were just drinking and stuff. And him and Kayla went right to bed. And I'm just like, oh, this guy's got his shit together. I was like, he's not like us at all. And so when all this shit came out, I remember the first time I met Kayla, she didn't want to touch me because it was COVID time. And she was all worried about germs and shit. And then I'm finding out that she's just like, that she's like just fucking other guys. I'm like, it's like, whoa, this is not the
Well, she
impression
just
I got
wanted
at
your
all.
cum, not your
Right,
handshake.
yeah. Now, don't touch my hand unless it's jizzing.
Also, I'm sorry. I'm going to go off on a non sequitur here
Please.
a little bit. I never knew that story about why everybody hated Nick. Blind Mike and Karl, are you guys familiar with Mom Talk?
I don't think so.
Oh, you guys should look into that for
What-
Who Are These Socials?
What's mom?
It's almost exactly that same story. So it's a bunch of Mormon moms who started TikToks.
Okay.
They started making TikToks together. Then they all got caught in a swinging scandal. There are many arrests. There are many. There
Okay.
was just a wonderful reality show about it.
Because there's that other YouTuber, mom influencer.
No, yes, that's a different
who
one.
was torturing her children.
Yes,
It was actually
that's
she was the
8
greatest
passengers.
mom. Yes,
That's 8 passengers. No,
Okay.
you guys should look into Mom Talk on Who Are These Socials.
I'm in.
You writing that down, Mike?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
And
Jay
if you're
Woodard-
looking for a vacation spot, look into Montauk. It's
right. Jay Woodard, $2 is not subpoenaed, only peened. Only peened
Oh yeah.
by Nick. Some of these jokes where I have to pronounce the words right are just not going to translate well, guys. These puns. Nancram with 28 Canadian dollar dues. Thank you very much. This swallow talk is putting me off my wine. Almost. Sorry.
He
about
looked
that.
her in the eyes while he ate it.
That's what he said. Hellraiser 69, super sticker. Thank you very much, Hellraiser. And Zool McCool, $5. When's Kate Meany going to be on the show? When is Kate Meany going to be? People are demanding it. They want to get Kate Meany's take on this.
She has to record Aaron first.
Could you imagine? If there's anyone else who would fall for it.
I was going to say it might be easier than Stuttering John.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm watching from the beginning. Lucy, you are hot as fuck today.
I love this show because I would go to Greenland if I watched the toe on a daily basis.
Lucy, you stole my gimmick. I was going to go down on a stick of butter shaped like Nick. Now I'll just diddle myself with my replica SJ Magic Finger.
Yeah, what was that like? I gotta ask. Just because I think that, I think it's in the toe's future. He's joking about it. He's saying butter's fun.
I will tell you,
What?
eating an entire stick of butter was far more challenging than I thought that it would be.
You thought it would be easy? That's crazy.
It was coating my throat. It was hard to literally swallow.
Yeah.
Your doctor would not approve of that.
Actually,
really bad for you.
actually, many doctors do recommend it now, and by doctors
A
I mean
full stick of butter.
And crazy fucking whatever the shit, you know.
Yeah, what kind of diet is that?
There's dietitians who are recommending that you eat full.
I want to know what happened afterwards.
I was fine. Is the answer to that? The day that I ate the stick of butter, the next day I drove to Detroit
and had anal sex
and had so much anal sex with Trucker
God.
Andy,
Oh,
producer Chris,
God.
and Vinny.
Jesus.
It was a great day for me, challenging for all of them. I'll let you guys figure out who the cuck was.
Did you have to put cones down or sawdust to get the oil slick?
You know, everybody had fun.
Jesus.
Vinny still hasn't cleaned off his peen because he can't see it. He doesn't even know how gross it is. It's a whole thing going on. Don't even get me started about WTP live events. They're wild.
It was great. I had a wonderful time.
Peter Sky Parker, $3 says, "Why is this so blurry? Please fix it." Yeah, Moody.
No, that's your webcam. Don't blame that on Moody. That's your bandwidth.
It's Geary Vision.
Wait, who's blurry? It looks good to me from my standpoint.
Yeah, it's not. When it comes through on our end, it's blurry.
Oh, fuck me then. My bad.
Pussy.
Nick's cum tastes like fresh squeezed pineapple. It dripped out of April pussy into my mouth. It tattooed delicious.
Steel toe saved me some cum. Yummy cummy for my tummy.
Like, really break this down. She comes out of a room from fucking him. She's loaded up to the gills. She's put a cork in it.
Put a cork in it. Yeah.
Understood.
Keep it in there. Yeah. Right.
You know, because otherwise, you know.
Yeah. Drips. Sure.
Yeah. You know, and I doubt he's just licking up her leg like the side of a candle. But so he lays her down. She goes, "No, let me get in the shower first." He goes, No. I want to taste Nicholas.
Sounds like you've been on Pornhub.
I just, how does this play? Like, he's like, no, I need the essence of Nick in my throat.
So here's what you need to do.
That's the definition of cuck.
Steel toe boner show. You know how like they make those parodies, those porn parodies of popular movies? Why aren't there porn parodies of popular internet shows?
No.
You don't want to watch that?
No.
All right.
That's the problem, is nobody wants to watch that.
I'm just saying, if we cast it with the right
First
people,
of all, if you could pay to watch Aaron and April fuck, you would pay.
No,
Pretend
I would
like you
not.
wouldn't. Pretend like you wouldn't.
I would not.
Guys,
Yeah, but you'd come over and watch our copy for free.
they don't actually get Carrie Fisher to be in Boner Wars. You get like a porn actress to do that. You guys are not understanding what I'm saying here. Wouldn't actually be Aaron. Be a guy with a much bigger penis.
Yeah, I'm saying I'd rather watch Aaron actually. I want to see what moves this guy has in bed. I really I want the guy who wakes up in the night, sits up and wakes up his wife sleepjacking furiously. Like the fact that gets brushed. He wakes up in the night and wakes April up because he's jacking off so furious.
I don't know about this. What?
Oh, honey.
Please explain.
April admitted that like she wakes up in the middle of the night and he's sitting up and she doesn't know if he's awake or not, but he's cranking down furiously. He wakes up and sleepjack.
If he's sitting up and jerking off, he's not.
He's sleepjacks.
Sleepjacking off.
Why do we know this much about these people?
Right.
I know. This is not.
This is what happens when you bring a wife
voice
on
of
your
reason
show,
over
Bob
here.
Levy.
Well, the problem is, I've had my wife on my show. People know that. but we have shit to talk about. We actually have a show format. We don't have to just fill time.
Wait. That's not your mom?
You got me good with that one.
And you limit her access to the basement.
Pretty good stuff, guys. But the problem that Aaron has is that he's not living a life. He does 8 shows a week. And so when he comes on the show, the Rumble Friday today, this morning show, he comes on and opens up talking about the dangers of caffeine.
Yeah.
This was the topic of conversation that went on and on and on because he's got nothing to talk about. He's a boring person.
Well, he's a little worried that if he doesn't start his morning with a Celsius, he starts to get a headache. That's dangerous.
He was telling us how like regular soda and coffee don't have enough caffeine, and Red Bull didn't, so he had to double up because Celsius has double the caffeine. It's the only way you can get up in the morning. And it's like, again, you don't have to get up in the morning. I was saying this last night, Karl. You do your own show. You're not on a broadcast schedule.
Correct.
So you schedule your show for when you want. And you say, I don't have a schedule. It's like, yeah, that's the life I've built for myself. Get out of my fucking face about it.
Fair enough. It's
you know what I don't do? You know what I don't do?
Sometimes
make myself drag myself out of bed unwillingly at 2 a.m. and just keep drinking chemicals to make it all better.
But also, I wake up at 6 a.m. pretty routinely. I'm not going to the salt mines. Like, it's not torture.
Right, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, this whole thing where he's created a schedule for himself that he then complains about. I have friends who have worked in morning radio. It's miserable.
Right.
It's the slot you want. It's when you have the most people listening. It's how you make the most money. But it also sucks balls getting up early in the morning 5 days a week.
Well, but those people have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to get to the
Correct.
studio and do. Aaron can roll out of the bed at 6 a.m. if you wanted to.
Is that true? Shouldn't he have some prep done or something? Shouldn't he know what he's going to talk about?
What is he prepping? Not to be.
10 stories from Mediaite or wherever he goes?
Well,
not to be.
So that brings me to let's talk more about Rumble Fridays, because last week on Rumble Friday, Lucy's back, everybody.
I'm back.
Sure beats Lucy's front.
Ew.
Oh, we're just talking about the butter still? Is that what's going on here?
So last Friday's show, he says, I didn't prep a goddamn thing. I didn't prep a story, nothing. Because the way that this show format works is you pay him money and then he plays the video that you paid him to play. Yeah. Why he doesn't do this 8 times a week, I don't know. This is a perfect scenario for him. He does zero work and gets paid to just play random videos.
By the way, Karl, any other day of the week, send in a URL for $1 or $2 on Rumble and he'll play it.
He'll play it. Right. Well, and then today, so he's literally telling people to pay him to not do his job. Hey, why don't you do my job for me? What if I went on Patreon? I'm just like, hey guys, can you all just like pull clips and shit of the podcast that suck and send it my way, and then I'll pull them up and we'll talk about it.
And it's kind of a show, so it's the best case scenario.
It's today. The first video he pulled up that someone paid for was just blatant racism. There was nothing funny about it. It was just N-bombs and craziness. And Aaron's like, guys, he starts going into the, you can't be sending me videos like this. This is really bad.
Hold on.
And
How can there be blatant racism and nothing funny?
Well, you'd be surprised, but they pulled it off. And then the chatters all said, oh, we want to see it again. He played it again. So this is the guy who was appalled by his audience at the live show. Like,
He
guys,
loves
you're ruining
it.
my
He
life.
loves it.
He loves it.
I can't believe that's not all people said. But like, I'm surprised they don't just send clips of Melton or clips he's not allowed to talk about or whatever. Like, people are sending him actual clips to react to.
Yeah, if you give him $20, he has to play the entire video up to 10 minutes.
I can't believe it's not just all Nobody Likes Onions.
Right. Yeah, why isn't this little piggy being paid $20 for him to watch? I don't know.
Right.
Or just a loop of Nick saying Aaron eats cum literally for 10 minutes. Just a loop of it.
That'd be fun. Gotta watch the whole thing. I gave you $20.
By the way, do you think Midland Armory and Stoney's should reevaluate what they pay for ads based on the fact that they get a 10-minute ad run for $20 every Friday? Can we just put a Midland Armory on loop for
That's a very good question.
That's a
You can
great
put
point.
a commercial to your small business, your company, your podcast. Can I make an NLO commercial for 10 minutes and he'd play it for $20?
Yeah. That's money well spent right there. Although no one's watching Rumble. The Rumble numbers are bullshit. It's all nonsense.
Well, even you say they're bullshit, which I agree with, but like, is he getting a bunch of views? You know what I mean? Like, what are his actual numbers?
I looked at his video today, and I might still have it up. Yeah, I have it right here. And it says that this video has 6,610 views.
So more than YouTube?
Way more than
That
YouTube.
seems unlikely.
It's wrong. It's inaccurate. It's incorrect.
It'll have 500 before he goes live.
Right.
So it makes no sense.
No, it's definitely not.
How can a
Those numbers
video
are fake.
that doesn't exist yet have views? Like,
But this is what X was doing after Elon bought it, and they're trying to be this video platform.
But X is at least like, they fudge the numbers in the way that like if you scroll by it, that's a view.
Right.
Rumble, I don't understand how I think they're just lying.
Yes. Yes. Maybe if it just shows up on a screen that people are, I have no idea.
or if you're logged in while this show is live.
Yeah, right. Because it doesn't make any sense, but these platforms do it so that the creators go, oh my gosh, I do way better on Rumble than on YouTube.
Right.
I'll just do Rumble from now on. This is awesome. I remember when X started doing that and everyone was simulcasting to X. They're like, holy shit, we have 10,000 viewers right now. It's like,
yeah, Theo Vaughn got like 78 million views on Twitter.
They've cleared it up so you can actually see who's watching, the number watching live, and how many impressions and full views. Like, it is clear now, at least.
Okay.
On the Twitter side. But yeah, of course, they try to make you think you're a sensation on their platform. Why go anywhere else?
It's the best video platform I've ever been on. I have all these new fans who are, for some reason, there's 10 million people who really care about what Stuttering John said.
And again, before Aaron went back to Rumble, June 19th, 2023 is the date. You can hear Aaron's real feelings on Rumble. This is one day before he gets a copyright strike. This is like a Friday show. He goes, Rumble numbers are fake. I think it's like a 4 to 5x multiplier. It's bullshit. There's no interaction. Their platform sucks. Their app is buggy. The chat sucks. It's not a good user experience. It's not even worth simulcasting. And he quit. And then the next week he got a strike and went back to Rumble, and they're the best. They reach out to him. The numbers are better. The engagement's good. The chat rules.
Does he even care about the numbers, or does he just care about the goal?
He just cares about money.
Exactly. So
he talks
so
about numbers, though. He
can
talks
say-
about how he has the most people ever watching him.
That's
He said it again this week. He said we got the more viewers we've ever had.
Yep.
But is that because it translates to the goal being more successful, or is that because he actually?
Oh, he
cares
wouldn't care if he had 50 people watching and all 50 people gave him $100.
Yeah.
That'd be the greatest day ever.
Yeah.
And he'd say it was because Meme Copium was live. That's why he had no
this
viewers.
Meme Copium thing is so bizarre to me. I was going to watch Aaron, but Meme Copium was on, so that's my first choice.
He made this like his time slot rival. Now he's like, oh, that Meme Copium taking our. It's like, what?
Well, Lucy is right, though. He does nothing to promote the show. He doesn't put out clips. He doesn't title like, he just titles the show whatever he wants it to be rather than what he's talking about. He doesn't find ways to reach a new audience. He
doesn't do interviews. He won't go on other people's shows and do interviews. We know that.
Let's not forget.
Except Fusey for some reason.
He doesn't need to do clips because the Clippers are doing it for him, which is making his show
yeah,
more
he
popular.
loves that.
Let's
Right.
not forget about how the Clippers are doing his work
Doing the
for
marketing
him.
for him.
But
That's
but
right.
among people that already know him, people aren't finding
No
that
shit.
randomly.
Yeah, well, yeah,
And they're
he's
not
an idiot.
flattering.
He's
And they're not
a little
flattering.
idiot, is
Yeah.
the point.
All right, let's get back into the fun. Oh my gosh, Tukey is here.
Welcome to the one and only Polly Kowelver's game show. What? Oh, what? Can Aaron talk about? So what can Aaron talk about? Is it A, his browser history, B, his ex-wife, or C, abuse allegations?
And the answer is, of course, B, my ex-wife, April LaRue. Even though there might be a court order, I can talk about her all the time.
Because it's
Aaron's
good
getting
now.
confused. Gonzo, $3 says, get Johnny Crutches on to talk about egg chairs. We sent him the link on an early episode of this little piggy. He did not want to come on, unfortunately. Actually, I don't know.
want to talk about Aaron.
Yeah, of course.
You don't want to talk about the Bills with him too?
Doesn't care. No one cares about Johnny Crutches.
You want to talk about Johnny's girlfriend in California?
Oh,
that was quite a saga.
That
I
was
could
so
do a whole
sad.
show on.
That was so sad.
It was bad. And then Aaron, of course, just ringing him out for it. It's so fucked up.
I couldn't believe. I remember when I talked about that on my show, I just assumed Johnny Crutches was a virgin. I didn't realize he had kids.
It's very impressive. There's hope for everybody.
I assumed he was a virgin.
Based
Is
on
the
that story,
meanest
wouldn't
thing
you?
could say about an adult man.
Based on that story, wouldn't you assume?
But Mike, the way you said that is like you were on his side. I just assumed this guy's a virgin. I didn't realize. Like, Jesus, dude. It's so insulting. It's funny.
Hello. Remember me? I was once a staple on these Dabbleverse related shows. Now you can find me on Rumble.
Oh, sorry, Cardiff.
Sigh. Rumble.
I am sorry, Cardiff. Whoa! Wind it up, Cupcake. Rumble is tits. 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 Joe Biden fisted my gash and smelled my finger. You're done.
Good Lord.
Wow. However that person wrote that was the best Balin we've ever had on here.
It was great.
That was very well done. And I'd have Cardiff on this show, but he will not pay attention.
He's
to
anti-steel toe, yeah.
Yeah. He just, even though he's on multiple shows, that's all they talk about.
He's a one-track potato.
He really is, yes. Which, don't get me wrong, Stuttering John is fascinating, and I can't wait to talk about him tomorrow on WATP because his electricity went out, 3 times in the last 3
So
weeks
absurd.
because he's not paying his bills?
I heard him address fools like you today. And
did he?
Just so you know, it's not that he doesn't have the money to pay the electric bill. It's that he didn't know there was a bill to pay. Don't you understand?
Right.
Is that one of the
He
perks
went
of Florida? I know there's no income tax, which is pretty sweet, but also you just get free electricity too?
Yeah.
He went paperless and electronicless. Like it's no updates about his bill.
Right. Yeah, he literally said he doesn't read his mail, and that's why he hasn't paid his bills.
He's one of those guys that like won't set up auto pay because sometimes it's not enough.
Right. It's not good.
It was just like that scene from Jaws. I was the shark trying to eat the seamen. I'm going to need a bigger throat.
Haka haka.
Come on, that's pretty good. I liked it.
I didn't.
Oh, stop it with the shark stuff.
I liked it.
Lucy.
Find me on Patreon to see me suck John's wacky finger. Why won't John acknowledge me?
That is very true.
Yeah, what
Pony
the
power
fuck?
too. First
No
of
one
all,
else has jerked off with Stuttering John shaped dildos than you.
And Pony Power 2, who just sent that message,
Mm-hmm.
he recently made me a Stuttering John shaped popsicle mold. So I just stuck on Stuttering John finger shaped popsicle mold. So I just sucked on John's finger on Patreon.
How did it taste?
It was orange juicy.
Good.
Yeah.
Pony Power 2 also made the Dabby Awards, which of course are fantastic.
Yeah.
You probably
It's
see this-
disgusting.
You probably see this on Tuki's show.
Pony Power 2 is so talented.
He loves to show that off.
I preferred the Dookies.
The Dookies was so stupid. Not to talk about John, but John comes on a show, he's got nothing to talk about. 3 minutes before the show, he goes, "Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do the Dookies. I'll
Can we
award
talk-
who the hottest guy is."
Sorry to get you off John.
Yeah,
you
go
know,
ahead.
Jesus Christ. Chad was right about you. Can you imagine? Can we talk about Aaron wearing pink pants and a girl
Thank you for
shirt?
interrupting me and not letting me finish my thought. Let's talk about pink juicy pants that Aaron wore on purpose so that he wouldn't buy a slice of pizza when leaving Slam Piece's house.
This is real.
What happened?
Yes, this is real.
Aaron
You wanna describe
Aaron spent the night at Slam Piece's house, and he wore juicy couture pink
Yep.
sweatpants because they're so embarrassing that it'll stop him from getting out at gas stations and getting food because he gets anxious when he drives and he likes to eat. He likes to eat while he drives. Can you imagine the crumbs?
Oh, I hate eating while I'm driving. I almost never do it. It's gross.
No, put the food down and drive home and eat it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're on a road trip, I guess. But
He told
The
the
part of
story
this
on
that-
his show.
Go ahead.
He told the story on his show.
It's weird that he does that on a show where there's no one there to like bust his balls. Like, what is the benefit of that story? If there's no one there, like when I used to listen to like O&A, they would reveal shit like that about themselves, and then it would be 45 minutes of making fun of the guy.
Right.
Aaron just says that, and then it sits there, and then he moves on.
I think he does that with like the cum eating thing. It's like he's trying to recreate it by constantly going, "Guy," he does his fake laugh, like, "I'm not. I don't know what you. I don't eat cum." And it's like there's no camaraderie with Roots Calhoun. We don't know what you're. What
were we gonna say, Lucy?
I was gonna say about the Juicy Couture sweatpants. Okay, so I don't know a single girl. I know a fair amount of women, and I know women.
Can
who
you
like
introduce me, or what's going on?
fashion, and at least one of them is your wife.
Oh, okay.
So not a single
Buzzkill. There's a cock blocker right there, my wife.
So not a single one of them has owned a pair of Juicy Couture sweatpants since the year 2005.
Okay.
Lemmy gave him these sweatpants as a gift, little Lemmy.
Oh, okay. Never mind. In that case, I retract everything.
So he
That
didn't
makes a
buy
ton of sense.
allegedly.
God damn it, little Lemmy, I love you.
That's fun.
God damn it, little
It's
Lemmy.
a fun gift.
Oh.
But he did have a pink and blue, like girly Boys in the Hood shirt that he wore with it. And then he admitted he has because people were like, "Well, you'll just go through a drive-through, you fat fuck."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "No, after 10 p.m. I don't do drive-throughs."
Yeah.
So it's like, hold on, you have that restraint, but you have to wear silly pants.
Is it
Also-
OCD? Because he's got all these rules he's created for himself that keeps him in his own stupid prison. He has to get up early in the morning and do his show at the exact time. Like you pointed out the other day, he started his show at 6 a.m. and then had to go upstairs to the kitchen to grab like a drink or something. It's just like, just grab the drink and then start the show. You'd be a minute or two late. Whatever.
Got to be on air.
Always somebody
or
talking about
corporate.
late.
Corporate will be upset. He's got to hit the post. He's got to
So
like
stupid.
And then he's how does he have the self-control to like not go into a drive-thru after 10 p.m. but then like because he's wearing pink pants and those are gay,
right?
He won't go into a store because that's the worst thing to be seen as is gay.
Well, he would never
Like-
guzzle cum.
That would be gay.
Right? It's his own for everyone, right? Like, oh, they're
Yeah.
gay F words. He's being gay. This guy's gay. If you like Melton, you're gay. His whole chat's gay. It's like, so I wear these pink pants so I won't go in and buy honey buns. And people think I'm gay. It's like you're loading up on honey buns and hash browns. People already think you're gay. Like if you're holding breakfast foods warmed up on a roller underneath your tits while you check out, you're gay.
Also, the cum broth is a giveaway. I would think. But yeah, that was a real story that he told, that he loves going through drive-thrus. He loves eating while he's driving. He always wants some food there. But then he wore pink pants so he wouldn't walk into a gas station. And he has some rule about drive-thrus at a certain time of night. I only go through a drive-thru after 10 p.m. You know what I mean? If you see me in a drive-thru and it's the afternoon, I'm not doing well that day. But bad things are happening.
And if I only need to run up to the gas station, I put on sweatpants. I don't
Right,
feel like
yes.
it's
Who
fine.
gives a fuck? You're still the best dressed person in there. Who gives a shit?
To me, it feels like if there's like a group of guys on a podcast and they're talking about whatever, and a story comes up and pops in your mind, and you're like, all right, guys, I got to confess something. I went to the store the other day. I'm wearing these ridiculous sweatpants, blah, blah, blah. That to me is that's like actual honesty, and there's ball busting involved. With Aaron, it all feels like calculated. Like, all right, I'm ready to reveal this story to you and frame it the way that I want. There's nothing feels honest about it, even though he's admitting something embarrassing.
Yeah.
He did the thing where he was like listing out all the foods he's been eating lately, like the bad foods
fun.
or what he ate today that was so bad. And then Slam Piece was in there and reminded him that he got a sub somewhere. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I did get that." Like, so I'm watching her creep along that line. Moody Drew last week to important to the show, but off camera. Because she's now correcting him and piping up with stuff and reminding him of things. And he said, like, she'll never be on the show. But it's like, when they laughed. They played a segment where they laughed at the thought of me calling her the executive producer. But what is an executive producer other than someone in your ear correcting you when you get something incorrect or nudging the show in a direction?
Well,
and that's
also
what she's
giving
doing.
him content. She's constantly telling him. He's telling the story the other day. They're at the college football game, and she's the one going, "Wow, look at what April just tweeted," and showing him. And it's like she's the one who's watching all of this,
Right. Egging
and
it
then
on.
giving him the information. Then he comes out and goes, "You know what Slam Piece was telling me?" It's like that's what a producer does. Correct. Also, Mike, to your point, if you're going to reveal something embarrassing, you got to be more on like the Jim Norton line of like, I'd have a girl pee her pants and then sit on my face.
Right.
Like that's the kind of stuff that's a little more salacious and interesting.
Sure, but even something minor like that, like if he was in a room of people, it would be different than like, I decree that I will admit this today. Like, well, no one was asking for it.
Yes.
Like, it didn't come up, anything.
Diablo Sandwich, getting back to the Steel Toe boner show porn, says, "Can Lucy play herself?" Well, I mean, we're gonna have auditions.
I'll try my darndest.
We'll see how she does.
Like Kramer auditioning to play himself.
I didn't get the part.
A geezer, $5. Imagine I did a 2.5 hour drunken Who Is Me stream. I couldn't, Pat.
Woe is me.
So, yeah, you're right. Whoa.
I think he means WOE though.
No, he's at a loss of identity. Who is me?
Whoa, is me. It's Tukey. Yeah, I think for people who don't know, I posted then the next day after all of them took it hook, line, and sinker, I posted the end video of me completely straightening up Kaiser Soze style and showing that I wasn't drunk and I was just fucking around with people. But people don't even buy that. They're like, yeah, right. It's like, I don't know. Okay. Then
Being had is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I will tell you. It's hard to deal with. Mistress Meg, $5. Lemmy said on Pretty Antisocial that she did not give those to Toe. Gotta belong to Slam Piece. Oh,
Hold
is
on,
that
why
true?
would he lie about that?
If they belong
Okay,
to
get
Slam
back to what
Piece.
you were going to say.
Oh, no.
If they belong to Slam Piece, then who the fuck is Slam Piece? Like, I am dying for her to go from off screen to on screen.
Hold on. Because Patrick brought this up on his show, and I think he's right about that. Everything that you're watching that's happening in Minnesota is the 90s. When we see Nick Rekieta's kitchen, when we see the clothing they wear, like they're living in the 90s still. So that would actually make sense that it's Slam Piece.
It really is like 20 years back. Maybe they're in 2003,
Yeah.
but
The aughts.
Well, I mean, that would make sense for Juicy Couture pink sweatpants.
Oh, that's wild that he's making up that Lemmy.
Why would he use another
love
YouTuber or someone that could respond publicly?
That's a good point. Yeah. It's a very good point. All right. Well, who
That
knows?
made me very happy.
Who knows what's going on? Dusty, $2. Super sad blind Mike can't see those cans. Well, we'll describe them to him.
to your point, Mike, why would he say that when there's a YouTuber that could publicly discredit it? He's done it before. He said that Brad Thacker and Sketty Tooth John donated $200 or something. And they're like literally in my chat going like, no, I didn't. But it's an own because literally, again, we talk about his dome of delusion, his fans who don't watch anything but him.
Yeah.
Like, so they really eat up everything he tells them. Like Melton's over there losing his mind, or this happened over there. And the internet's turning on him. Don't even worry about it. I got you covered here at the toe. He just fills these idiots in with stuff. So he can tell them that, and it's a fuck you to Lemmy. He doesn't care that thousands of people know it's not true. He cares about 200 people who think it is true.
That's interesting because that is how radio used to work, where you get
Right.
in these radio wars and you would never listen to the competition. So you're just like, oh, yeah, man, cow's an asshole or whoever.
Right.
But like with YouTube, if I'm watching Steel Toe, up next in my feed is Nobody Likes Onions.
Right. Yes.
It's weird that they don't like accidentally find that.
It's also similar to Chad Zumach, who would always talk about the people who give him $100 on Patreon. He would show their names, and then those people came out and was just like, yeah, that was like 2 years ago. I don't donate that much money to him every month, but these people like to act like things are happening that aren't actually happening, and it's very easy to figure out that they're lying. Do you still have something to say, Lucy?
No,
Okay.
I'm just.
We're moving on.
Well, I was going to say to Melton's point there, and I think that you addressed it. If you can just make it up, why not make up, Joe Schmo gave me this amount of money, or Joe Schmo gave me these hilarious pants. But I think that you're right. It's the fuck you to that person
Right.
also. It's the I can say this and have people believe me.
Yep.
And that's how much I don't care. And that's so fucked.
Patrick Melton sexually harassed my daughter. It's like everyone knows that's not true. No one believes that. But there's probably 50 people over in Steel Toe's chat who do.
Right.
Because
He says it
they
so
haven't
many
checked
times.
anywhere.
He says it
Right.
over and over again. So it's like, well, it's got to be true. He wouldn't be saying this over and over again if it weren't true.
But he never plays a clip or shows a clip or files charges.
All right, let's talk. Speaking of filing charges, let's talk about this contempt of court.
Come on.
Let's talk about contempt of court for Ethan and Ralph. This is bizarre to me. So
I still don't get it.
I still don't get it. So Ethan did a stream where he sniped the Zoom court where Aaron had his court day in court, whatever you call it. I don't even know. And that's against the law in Minnesota. So the court has found him in contempt of court, and now there's a warrant out that is nationwide somehow. And
they're going to go find him?
Yeah. Well, what
fucking midnight run?
What Ethan Ralph said. So Ethan Ralph lives in Mexico, but his young son is in Southern California. And he visits his son like once a month. He has to drive over that border. And so he's saying that the next time he tries to drive over the border, they're going to look over the database and they're going to want to ship him to Minnesota for this warrant that's outstanding for him. And a lot of people said that Aaron's the one who blew Ethan Ralph into the court. Now, is there any validity to that?
It could be like the situation with Nick and April and Kayla getting arrested. It could be he talked to somebody and that set a ball rolling, and then the county or the state or whatever decides to file the charge, Same way as like petitioning the court for a restraining order. It's the court that actually files the restraining order.
Right.
It's the court that decides, or the DA that decides to go after him, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Not Aaron.
Aaron really is the Whitey Bulger of lol cows. He keeps informing on people and rising through the ranks.
Right. Yes. It's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't know if it's real or
part
not.
of this because it's a guy that I don't get along with. That's pretty well known for a long time, and he just always finds a way to step in it. This thing that he's not even involved in, he just traveled up to Minnesota to obviously watch the trial and talk about it and stuff. He has that great photo op that he took with Nick and his two girls.
Jesus.
Yeah, but look at me. I've stepped in it and I'm not involved. Look what's happening to me now.
I know what's happening to you. Nothing.
I don't know. I mean,
happening
look, I assume they're going to come get all these devices.
Okay.
I won't download anything. I'm preserving them all.
I don't know where I saw this. I think I saw someone speculate that the reason why you're doing this is so the authorities check your hard drives and it proves you don't have CP.
Yes.
That's going to be your big win or your big own. See, guys?
I'm actually
but not that kind of felon.
Yeah, I'm less of a child predator than you. Do you have certification from the court that your hard drive contained no child porn?
They're like, but he did go to Kiwi Farms and then cuck porn immediately after.
I do. That should be a service like that's provided for women. Like if you start dating a guy, you're not sure about him, you can hand all his devices in at the beginning of a date, and by the end we check them all and we hand them back and go like, he's clear. He's a good one.
Yeah, that should be when you're using Tinder. That should be one of the things. Like, will you let me search all of your devices? Like, no, definitely not.
Or even give Tinder access to your whole device so they can tell her how many girls you're talking to.
Tinder verified. You get the check mark on there.
No.
He sends his penis a lot. You're gonna want to. How many times in the last 30 days you've texted your penis to girls? How many women you're currently talking to?
How many times you texted someone else's penis to girls? Yes, all of these things. It's a good idea. I'm going to start up a service for this. The Pants Maestro, $10, says, I will get him to eat butter. It has become what drives my existence. Might be unhealthy, but it should be fun.
On the right day, you will. He's leaning into it. He's not opposed to it. You will on the right day. He will do it.
Dog food.
I ate butter.
Eat butter.
Okay, watch me eat butter instead of watching him eat butter. That's literally the whole reason that I did it.
Oh, so you don't want him to?
No.
You want to own butter?
No, I don't want to own butter. I just don't want people to give him fucking money. Watch me eat butter for free. You can literally watch me eat butter for free.
It is impressive.
I couldn't get through it, honestly.
That's my point. It's if you're gonna watch somebody eat butter, watch these boobies eat butter instead of watching him eat butter.
Instead of watching his boobies?
Yeah.
Eat butter?
Yeah. Come on.
I just like the phrase, on the right day you will. Like, be patient, young man.
Yeah.
Yep. Any given Sunday, I believe is what they say.
That's right.
I can't do it. I'm too old.
Whoa, B, bitch. Mommy is nowhere to be found. Whore, you're done. You're done. Fuck you, mommy.
Balin, come on my show. I will invite you to the Bellman, where you can buy me some beers. This is Stuttering John.
I was on the Howard Stern show.
Yes, he was. That is true.
It's true. I love to eat while I drive. Unfortunately, Nick doesn't own a drive-through.
I see what you did there.
Oh, God.
Because he eats Nick's cum, guys. Get it?
I like that.
Our ice cream machine is broken.
Cash $10 says he's lying. He probably crapped his pants, and that's all SP had for him to wear home. Lemmy said she didn't give him the pants, apparently.
I mean,
that's a fun theory.
It's just so wild that he said he wore him over there and wore him home. But it's like, imagine fucking a guy and then he puts those on. He's
might be a turn off.
All right, I'm gonna head out. Have you seen my keys? Oh, they're in my Hello Kitty purse.
He just covered in some other guy's cum and also wearing those pants.
Oh,
I like
God.
that theory. He did something to fuck up his pants, and then she's like, "Here, wear these."
It's a good point. Let's say, so, like, to my point earlier, like you wouldn't know. Are those my search? Is that my browser history for July? But you would know if it's reasonably believable to be yours. Like it could be yours. You would know whether it could be yours or not. Does he have to go through his browser history on his own Google account and try to find those pages that match and give them to the cops to prove? Because how do you get the warrant? To get the warrant for all this, I imagine you have to go. He had access to my Google accounts, and not only that, he's sharing stuff out on his Twitter.
Right.
And here's access to my Google accounts to show you my actual browser history and what he shared, and it matches. And by the way, it's all me jerking off after reading about children and cuck porn. So ignore that part. But
right, yeah.
Like he's got to show his literal
I didn't even think about
masturbatory
that.
archive
Right.
to the police in order to get this done.
He's too stupid to think of that. So he probably would show up and they'd be like, "Yeah, we don't know who this is. Everything's blurred out. We don't know."
It's just like it's tough to get a warrant based on what do you have? You have a fat idiot who does a podcast who says everything under the sun every day, and then you have screenshots that you may or may not be able to prove, or your search history. I don't know. I don't know what the next step is for him. I don't know how it works. You have to prove that that's
according
your
to Kiwi
stuff.
Farms, you're getting arrested. That's all I know. So sorry.
This might be a dumb question too, but if Aaron signed in to his account on that computer, is that even illegal?
Well, that's a great
I don't
question.
know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know about any of it. And by the way, I don't. Again, this is 100% real. I know that Aaron's signed into Nick's computer to use his streaming services and signed into his Google account, and that's all I know. Everything else I've speculated on and guessed. That's all I really know. I go like, oh fuck, I guess he has access to his drive and his photos and his texts and his voicemails and his history and his. I guess I don't fucking know, and he's never told me that. Like that's what people. I think people think there are these conversations that are going to come out where we've had like these intimate discussions about what there is and what to do with it, and there just isn't.
All right,
There
you're putting up a smoke
isn't.
screen now. All right, you're feeling the heat.
No, but
from the
like,
feds
I-
right now. I see what's going on. We
No,
don't
even
know.
know-
what
I don't know who
happened.
Nick Rekieta is.
But like it will come
Yeah, right,
out.
exactly.
It will
What
come
are
out.
computers? What do they even
That's
do?
what-
I don't
that's
know.
what I'm
just a
talking about.
caveman.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. The difference between a guy who does a show commenting about all this stuff and saying what could be and speculating and talking to this guy for real. So anything I say, they assume it's factual and I got it from Nick.
Right.
When it's like, no, Nick let tidbits out and I've just run with it, as Chad says. Like I'm running with it.
Yes. Well, it's like when Aaron came on, and one of the first things that I was talking about when I was reviewing Steel Toe was Aaron's coming on and going, look I've done drugs recently and I've decided to change my way. Other people haven't changed their way. I'm like, oh, he's saying that April's still using drugs.
Right.
And then, Chad I was like, wow, this is wild speculation. It's like, no, that's what he just said. It's
One
like
of the-
so obvious.
one
And
of the
Nick's
great
same
things-
thing. Nick's like pretty much come out and said, yeah, he signed it to my computer. And by the way, look at his search history in June.
And he headbutted his wife, which we're all ignoring.
One of the
Good point.
yeah, fuck. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, there was someone who put a meme out that was like something about how Chrissy Mayer's father was murdered. And that didn't get nearly as much play as this guy jerking off to cuck porn after reading Kiwi Farms.
Jesus
People are like, wow, this is wild. We have a new song that's coming in. I'm going to play it before we leave here today from Fancy Mortimer, the Beggy Man he sent in to me. So I'm going to play that. But I want to let people know that they should be checking out Once Over with Kaylee on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification so you know when she goes live, because Kaylee's breaking down movies on her channel. What do you have going on right now?
So this past week I reviewed Don't Breathe. I also recently talked about Basketball.
Yes.
And then upcoming this week, I've been breaking down all the SNL skits turned into movies. So this upcoming Tuesday, you can check out my review of Superstar, which is great. Just great. And in addition to that, you can check me out on Patreon, which is also Once Over with Kaylee, where I do popsicle reviews, including that lovely Pony Power 2 Stuttering John finger popsicle, and many other smutty things.
Very good. Definitely check that out. And when you're done with that material, because you will be done with it at a certain point.
Well, then after that, you'll go to Kiwi Farms, and then you'll look up cuck porn, and then...
When your mind is clear.
Yeah, when your mind is clear.
Go back to your non-private browser.
Right. Go back to your non-private browser and go to blindmike.net.
Yes.
That's where you find all things Blind Mike. And by the way, the Blind Mike Project will be live Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. What are you talking about this week?
Sunday, I will be talking about a little bit of John, but I have a bunch of other stuff I want to get into. But Saturday night, we are also playing the Richard Ojeda drinking game, and that's for members only. So if you're a member on Patreon or YouTube, I have noticed that Richard Ojeda has a few tells, and obviously he's very worked up about the election recently. So we're playing the Richard Ojeda drinking game tomorrow night. Me, Craig, DJ Electra will be there, and possibly a special guest will be joining us. So.
Mike,
pop by
you got to be careful. Someone is going to die. I know it's just beer, you're saying. It's not hard liquor, but I'm worried.
The safety is he only does half-hour shows.
Okay.
So I plan on doing 2 episodes, but after the first one, if we're just out of it, we're bailing. We're pulling the ripcord.
That's going to be fun.
I hope you enjoyed those donations, Blind Mike. I didn't know what was happening. My hands were controlled by
Aaron was pulling the marionette strings.
Yeah, I just kept like super chatting to Blind. I don't know what happened. Like Aaron was making me do it because he's the puppet master of my world.
On the Blind Mike project last week, we talked about how Aaron. It was great timing because on Thursday, Aaron was like, "I won, I own all of you," and then on Friday, you guys had Rekieta on.
Yes, it was perfect timing for that. And then, of course, Nobody Likes Onions. There's a YouTube channel you should definitely subscribe to. And you have to hit the notification bell because you have no idea when this guy's going to be. It could be 2 a.m, could be noon. You have no idea.
It's on when it's on. We sneak up on you. Like the FBI when they're doing a raid. A pre-dawn.
Are you doing a bonus show tonight?
Yeah, we're doing a show tonight. Members only show. Our membership is $199, so it's not a big deal. Don't get it. And people give away hundreds of memberships over there. So come by for the pre-show. You'll get gifted a membership probably, and then stick around. And we're going to talk a lot of shit about Nick, and we're going to show some of the files tonight.
Oh.
And
file dump.
People are like, you're so fucked, Patty, because of the files, and you try to delete them, and you're fucked. I'm like, I won't try to delete them.
That's hilarious.
Like, it really is so funny how little people know and what they think they know. It's so good. I'm in.
To be true. They want it to be true so bad.
So bad.
The kids
so
with
bad.
Santa Claus. They're like, it probably doesn't make sense that there's like flying reindeer. Yeah, but I just want there to be presents every Christmas morning under the tree. That's how these Kiwi Farms people think.
Could happen. It could happen.
Sure. There could be flying reindeer.
I run my mouth a lot. I could be in big, big trouble.
You are all missing that SP and I are the same size, cup size, and waist size.
Oh, no. I hope that's not true. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the program today.
Thanks
I
for
enjoyed
having
our conversation. I enjoy
Yes,
each of you.
us too.
He's waiting for us to hang up. He's like,
and also with you.
Turning out to be a part of it. And with that, the Becky Man coming in from Fancy Mortimer.
Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chat. Everybody throw in. This part sucks. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rants. I just want to win today. I just want to get there. Click the PayPal link. Click the Venmo link. Click all the links. Everybody throw in. From excitement to shitting his pants. Don't make me beg again. Now it's there.
Hanging holding the bag. We can't even hit goals. Plus, I gotta be able to pay Johnny in a few days.
Hitting the goal is also what pays me.
Come on. Let's fucking do it. Give us what we fucking deserve. Now, you guys throw in $50 a pop. Fuck it, I gotta go look for a job.
I don't hate it.
Gotta do something, right? Fucking be dudes. Fucking around, it's telling jokes. So we get to make fun of bitches. I like to be like, I have cats, and I have cats, and I have cats, and I like to be like, I have cats, and I have cats, and I have cats, and I cats, and I like, there weren't many like 15-year-old hot chicks in movies. Nothing there, nothing there. You guys want to throw in a little bit of money? 5, 10, something. I just keep showing you receipts. I've kept my powder dry on a lot of the receipts. What happened? Was I not supposed to make any money today? You have fun because of me. Those goals are pretty mandatory, and that keeps the beggy man away. The beggy man. Those goals are pretty mandatory. Another win for the toe. So the beggy monster is going to have to come out. The beggy man. The beggy monster. Those goals are pretty mandatory. That'll keep the beg monster away until 9.
You knew that the charges were coming eventually.
Just keep knocking it down $100 at a time. Here's what I'm telling you, and then here's what the facts and the charges lay out. Hard time! Taking some fucking wrong turns in life. Dude, fuck a cat. I hate cats. Fucking around. It's telling jokes. You know, it's beggy fucking can-rattling weasel. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble, Rants. The beggy man. The beggy monster. The beggy man. Click all the links. Click the Venmo link. Click the PayPal link.
Now it's there.
Those goals are pretty mandatory. So pretty please.
The beggy man, also vaginal blood fart, $5 says, how many weirdos do you think are just zoomed in on Lucy? I'm not saying I am, but I am.
Oh, that's just, what have you done here?
I'm out of here.
I'm being blocked.
I'm done. I'm donezo.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I do have to get higher res cameras in here.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's a problem.